Hey guys, how are you? It's Max Powers, and I am sitting on a beach in Hyannisport, Massachusetts. I am pretty sure that there's no Bigfoot here, but I am here to talk about Bigfoot. I live not too far up the road, not Hyannisport. I live in Hyannis, and trust me, there's a huge difference there. The Kennedys live, it's about 100 yards that way, maybe 200, probably closer to 100. Um, but I was at a cocktail party last night. Tree trimming party. The holidays are coming in Hyannisport, actually just up the road here. I can, yeah, I can. I think that's their roof that I can see from here. Anyway, um, it was a friend of mine that I've known all my life. I'm not a big fan of these cocktail parties. I went because it was his cocktail party. It was a tree trimming party. The holidays are coming. Um, I would much rather be drinking beer and pizza up at Jack's with some of the local crazies, but uh, I make my living as an artist, and sometimes it's nice to rub elbows with people who can afford to live down this end of town. So anyway, my buddy, who loves to stir things up, introduces me to his wife's boss. And he says, Max, this is so and so. He is a hunter. And he turns to that guy and he says, so and so, this is Max Powers. He hunts Bigfoot. Uh, I hate being outed like that, first of all. Secondly, you should have seen this guy's face, kind of shocked. But we had these long conversations about Bigfoot. This man's a hunter. He is out in the woods of New England all the time. He does a lot of hunting up in Maine and New Hampshire. Um, and he actually admitted to me that he's had some of these moments that are, creepy, that he knows he's being followed, those kind of things. But ultimately, not knows he's being followed, I should go back and say, feels like he's being followed. Ultimately, though, this man is not convinced that there's a Bigfoot out there. He's had things that make him think something's out there, but he has not admitted to himself or to me yet that Bigfoot is real. I was talking about actually my experience in Plymouth the other day, and up at the Miles Standish State Forest, and he tried to convince me that the clicking, he called it clicking, it was not a clicking, it was more of a smooching, was deer. And I tried to convince him that the sound I heard was not the clicking of deer. And I don't know if you've ever heard the clicking of deer. I'm sure there are videos here on YouTube that have the clicking of deer in them. There are a lot of animal sound videos. And the clicking of deer is very metallic. I don't know how they do it, if it's their teeth. And what I heard was more of like a smooching, and I don't know how else to describe that. But after listening to some of these videos on YouTube about the sound of deer, I'm willing to suspend, I would not argue it adamantly, because it is possible that what I was hearing were bucks. That's what this guy said that they would be bucks looking for a fight. It usually happens, they make these noises during mating season, and you would hear them accompanied by grunts, according to him. And he's more of a hunter and more familiar with deer, so he would probably know better. I am out in the woods all the time. I have never heard this. It was like the sound of chipmunks or squirrels, some kind of tree rat. And I don't know how else to describe it, but that kind of it was more moist to what I'm used to when hearing about a deer clicking sound. Usually a deer clicking sound is almost metallic. It's like I don't have anything here to simulate it because I don't have little pieces of metal in this interior to tell you. Anyway, so the jury's out on that, and I don't want to be one of those people who thinks everything is Bigfoot, because I'm not. I'm skeptically optimistic. Can you be that way? I don't know, but those are my theory on Bigfoot is that yes, there's Bigfoot out there. My theory on a lot of Bigfoot observers are, they're people who see it, they know it's there, and they're willing to say absolutely yes to anything. You know, they watch a video, and if they see a shadow in the trees, they're like, oh, that's Bigfoot right there. I'm not saying it's not. It could very well be. I'm looking at some trees right now, and there are lots of shadows in them, and I'm pretty sure there's no Bigfoot on Cape Cod. I'm going to follow that up with another video as to why I am adamant that there's no Bigfoot on Cape Cod, and it stems on the fact that about, I don't know, 5 years ago, we had one bear on the Cape. The Cape is a peninsula that sticks out into the Atlantic Ocean. It's like 60 miles long. That bear was here for about a week, and I think there were like 10,000 sightings of this one black bear. Oddly enough, the way that the black bear got here lines up with some theories that are going around the internet about Bigfoot in southeastern Massachusetts and these green corridors. One of those green corridors goes right down to the Cape Cod Canal. They say the bear came down that. So that gives weight to some Bigfoot theories out there right now. But basically, if he made it over the bridge, 10,000 people would have seen him in no time. If you're a Bigfoot enthusiast, and I hope you are and you're watching this and you found this, you have to understand the situation. I'm not saying that he couldn't have been here. I know that they can be stealth. I know they spend their whole life being sneaky. But if one bear was seen about 10,000 times, someone's going to see something. Someone's going to find something. The one exception that I cannot argue the point of is directly across the canal from that tract of Greenland is a military base that is unbelievably well protected. It used to be what they called Space Command, pause. There's like a drone command center out there. There's all kinds of sneaky stuff that goes on there, and there's tons of land out there. But even if Bigfoot made it into that area, I don't know how sustainable it would be for a large predator. There are a lot of deer out there. They do not allow hunting out there, I don't believe. But I think it'd be, a passing through kind of situation if there were a Bigfoot there. That being said, no Bigfoot on Cape Cod. I'll do a video longer than this one on that. I'm in yo, not yes, not yo, when it comes to what I heard last night. Was it a giant squirrel, which it seemed to sound like? Was it deer clicking? I'm pretty sure it wasn't deer clicking. But I'm not an expert on deer clicking. So I'm just going to say perhaps the excitement of all the other things going around got the better of me. But I'm going to leave it open to the possibility that that was not deer clicking. Until someone can show me a deer clicking video or audio, something, that was what I heard. But what it sounded like was, an 8-foot tall squirrel. Anyway. The other video I'm going to do, and I had the intent of going into the woods down here today. You can look at the weather behind me. It's windy, it's cold, and what have you. Down here on the Cape, we get an awful lot of wind, and we do have woods. They're just not big enough woods for Bigfoot. But one of the other things that I talked to this gentleman about last night was tree structures. And this guy is convinced that tree structures are just weather. So what I'm going to do, and hopefully I'll do it sometime this week and get the video up pretty soon, is kind of a montage of wind damage in the woods and what it looks like, and tree structures that are seen. So you can see the difference. One is an organized, organic thing, and wind damage in our woods down here on the Cape. We do have a lot of nor'easters. We have an awful lot of wind. Like I said, we're a peninsula that just sticks out into the North Atlantic. So the wind whips through, and boy, oh boy, it causes destruction. And it's chaotic destruction. It's not an organic, it's not a weaving of trees, it's not all that stuff. So hopefully that video will come out later in the week. But basically what I wanted to tell you was meeting a hunter last night. Maybe it was deer that I heard the other night in the woods. It would make sense. There were gunshots around. They would have come into that protected area. But I'm not convinced that that was the noise that I heard. The other thing I wanted to do was mention that I'm going to be coming out with a longer video on on wind damage, fallen trees, etc., versus the phenomenon of tree structures. So I'll be back. Right now, I'm going to go home and probably take a hot shower, cook a good meal for dinner, watch some Patriots, go Pats, and I will talk to you later. Have a good day.